Hi, good morning, everybody. I have the handsome Gibby here, and we're waiting for his mom and dad to get home, and so I thought I'd do a little bit of work with him real quick, just to show off, I suppose. One of our puppies, Gibby, I think he's 3 years old now. He's one of Lulu and Brody's puppies. He's a party male, you can see here. And he's a sweetheart, although he does have his moments. Heel. As you can see, Gibby has got the loose leash walking pretty well down pat. He does get distracted by people and other people with dogs, so we do need to keep him focused when those distractions start to come. But he really has, as you can see, he really has a high desire to please. He's very affectionate. He is treat motivated as well, which is really helpful when a dog is both treat motivated and has a high desire to please. I think Gibby's always going to have a little bit of puppy in him. He's a very happy dog, and he likes to play, likes to run. We're not going to let him do that today, because like I said, his mom and dad are coming to pick him up. Right, Gibby? But we'll go for another little walk again. Yep. As long as I have this couple of minutes, I'm just going to talk real quickly about handling the leash. Once your dog has learned the proper loose leash walking, you don't have to be as much in control. I could walk right now without even hanging onto the leash. As you can see with Gibby, he's got the loose leash walking down pat. But it all started with learning how to control this leash properly, and it's this right hand takes up the slack and gives him the freedom. Takes away the freedom and gives him the freedom. The left hand, I can hang on to it with my left hand, but the left hand becomes more of a guide more than anything else. So when I want him to circle around on the inside of me like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up the slack with my right hand, and I'm going to guide him with my left hand. When I want to make a left hand turn so that I don't walk into Gibby, I'm going to take up the slack and kind of hold him in place and make that left hand turn. So if people can learn how to coordinate these two hands in really what they can do, once the dog has learned the proper way to walk on a loose leash, then it doesn't really much matter. You can be as casual as you want. The dog is now responding to everything that you've taken the time to teach him. leave it. Now you see I kicked a pebble just now. When I kicked that pebble, he got distracted. And I had to bring his attention back. So as soon as I did, I gave just a slight little, not even a tug, just a movement of my hand on this leash and the collar. And I did a little clicking with my mouth just to get his attention back. We have a martingale collar on Gibby. And you can see this martingale, this portion here is a chain, and this portion here is a fabric. And what happens with this is I can get his attention simply by twitching my hands a little bit and making the chain portion. I don't know if you can hear it on the camera or not, but you make the chain portion make a little bit of a noise, which is a cue to Gibby that something's up. I should pay closer attention to what's going on now, because he's either going to turn or he wants me to sit. You saw Gibby did sit, and that helps him. The other thing that happens is, unlike a choker, a martingale collar compresses around the neck, but only to a certain point. It does not compress to a choke, but it compresses. And the example I like to use is if a man and a woman are walking down the street holding hands and they bump into a neighbor, and the man starts talking about something that maybe the wife didn't want him to start talking about. She might squeeze his hand a little bit with a smile on her face so that the neighbor doesn't know that she's giving her husband a cue to shut his mouth. Well, the compression that occurs with this martingale collar is very much like that hand squeezing to tip off the husband to keep his mouth quiet. Okay? It does not choke, but it does compress enough. So when I wiggle my hand, if that chain isn't enough of a cue for the dog to respond, then the next thing that'll happen is the dog will start to feel the compression from the martingale collar. Again, the squeezing of the hand. A second cue that something is up, that he's either getting out of bounds, or he's not paying attention, or I'm about to do something maybe that he wasn't expecting, like making a quick turn or something like that. So I'll show you again. I'll use some of the technique, but it's not necessary with Gibby. And you see, right after I make this motion with my hands to secure, I could stay here and try to move him around, but when I keep all of this slack here, it's like having a wet noodle. I don't have any control. By taking this up, I now have control, and I've given the dog comfort and confidence in recognizing that I know what I'm doing, and so he's going to trust me not to step on him or not to bump into him, and to guide him in the direction that I really want to go. But as soon as I'm done, as soon as I make that turn, or as soon as I make that cue, that notice to him that something's happening, as soon as I'm finished, then I go immediately back to that loose leash. I bring my right hand back, or I let go of everything and give him all of that slack. Here comes Mom. I'll turn off the camera. Thank you. Hey, Gibby, come on.